The Rams may have just found their next superstar, and it's terrifying. Ty Simpson went 21 of 25 with effortless precision. And now the NFL has a serious problem. What if McVay just found his Brock Purdy?
All the man coverage they play, it was just a mismatch. Watching the Rams offense, they're so balanced. They're good at everything. Two things really jumped out in this game. One, remember when they started using 3 tight ends and we were like, that's cute. Now it's what they measure. They're really good at getting teams to play their base defense and throwing on them. That's how those tight ends are so productive.
But that was only the beginning. The Rams didn't just expose a defensive weakness. They may have accidentally revealed something far more dangerous. And Ty Simpson's performance is where the real shock begins.
So one of the things, kind of one of my rules is and this is not to say that smart people don't make mistakes, but if somebody's really smart and then they work with somebody that's really smart, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. So when the Rams drafted Ty Simpson, my take was they had 2 first-round picks. They got a top 3 corner with one of them, Trent McDuffie. So they took a flyer on a quarterback. Now, John, I am a believer there are 2 positions in football that you have to address at least a year before you need them, potentially 2, quarterback and left tackle. Those are just positions that an injury can decimate. I mean, look at the Niners record when Trent Williams doesn't play, like with Shanahan and Purdy. It's a different football team. So when the Rams drafted Ty Simpson and everybody was outraged, my take was, they had 2 picks in the first. Their biggest weakness was corner. Like, it's okay. Stafford gets dinged up. So I watched Ty Simpson every snap. 21 of 25. Threw the ball very well, especially rolling right. I mean, it was all backups, but poised. It's like having good parents. When you come into the NFL and you get Andy Reid or Shanahan or McVay or Kevin O'Connell, I mean, it's like hitting the lottery with your parents. You've got a hedge fund guy as your dad growing up. It's a little bit of an advantage. And I just watched Ty Simpson, and it was the classic. And I'm not nobody individually, but I said when the Rams did this, I said, guys, it's quarterback. You have to you can't get desperate and have to give up 6 picks to get him. Like, the Rams will never be drafting this high. You got Trent McDuffie. So I'm sure you saw Ty Simpson. My take was he looked really poised, and I know, I'm not making that much of it, but I was impressed.
Yeah, I watched the game live. I had a high-ranking executive tell me last week, said that if you flipped it and they traded pick 13 for Trent McDuffie, and this was before he played the game against the Chiefs, and it used pick 29 or 28, whatever pick that exactly was, to get Trent. And Ty Simpson went in that spot, right? They had traded the high pick like the Bengals did. He said it wouldn't have been as crazy. But when you take a guy 13, that's really close to being a single-digit pick. And people, and I'm guilty of this, you look for traits, right? Yet we've seen Anthony Richardson. I don't know if you followed this Cam Ward situation. It has not gone well right now in Tennessee. At all. Trey Lance, just because you have traits does not mean you're going to be a good quarterback.
That's right.
But, where you land at quarterback also really matters. I saw some highlights of Zach Wilson with Kellen Moore. It looks pretty good. Got him going. So who your coach is has a lot of influence on you. Some guys, maybe J.J. McCarthy turns out he can never play. The plays they ran for him, one thing you got to be careful of in the preseason is defensive coaches, they're less likely to truly game plan for these events. They will just maybe run a couple blitzes right throughout early in the game when the good players for the other team, first or second strings, but they're not putting together a defensive game plan. Offensive coaches, sneaky, will script out the first 15, 20 plays for their quarterback because they want them to look good. Like they got big egos. They want put the guy in good position. And I do think there are a lot of parallels with Ty's skill set with like a guy like Brock Purdy, right? He's not the biggest, not the strongest arm, clearly pretty accurate. I mean, those McVay, Shanahan, play action, get him on the move. It was like, okay, he could do that in his sleep. We talk about these other quote-unquote bust quarterbacks. They can't make that pass. It's not because they can't hit some bomb down the – you got to hit the layups. And in that offense, that play is a layup throw because the guy coming across 10, 15 yards away from you down the field is wide open. You have to hit that. Your completion percentage on that pass, on the rollout, McVay, Shanahan, like that is a bread and butter play for them. And he hit it with ease, right? Even though I'm sure they practiced it a bunch. They probably, I would say, planned on running those plays in practice for him, so he was comfortable doing it.
The Rams may have just discovered something the rest of the NFL should be very worried about. Ty Simpson went 21 of 25, looked completely composed, and delivered the kind of performance that makes one controversial draft decision suddenly look a lot smarter. The numbers are impressive, but the real shock was how effortless it looked. Rolling right, hitting intermediate throws, moving the offense, and protecting the football, Simpson looked comfortable inside Sean McVay's system. And suddenly, people are asking a dangerous question, and that is something to watch. Did the Rams just find their next Brock Purdy? Not because Simpson is already Purdy, he isn't, but because the skill set, the system, and the situation are starting to look eerily familiar. And the craziest part is that this performance makes much more sense when you look back at why the Rams drafted him in the first place. When Los Angeles selected Ty Simpson at number 13 overall, plenty of people thought the Rams had lost their minds. They had 2 first-round picks. They needed help. And instead of simply adding another immediate contributor, they used the number 13 selection on a quarterback while Matthew Stafford was still their starter. But there was a plan. The Rams also acquired Trent McDuffie, a premium cornerback, addressing one of their biggest defensive needs. And quarterback is different from almost every other position. You don't wait until you desperately need one, because by then, the price can become ridiculous. One injury can destroy an entire season. The Rams understood that. Instead of waiting until Stafford is unavailable and then desperately giving up multiple draft picks for a quarterback, Los Angeles took the gamble early. That is why the Simpson pick may not have been reckless at all. It may have been preparation. And once you understand that strategy, Simpson's landing spot becomes even more important because very few young quarterbacks could ask for a better situation. Quarterbacks don't develop alone. The coach matters. The system matters. The veteran quarterback in front of them matters. And Ty Simpson landed with Sean McVay. That's enormous. Think about what McVay has done for quarterbacks. His offense is designed around movement, play action, timing, and creating defined throws. That is why the Brock Purdy comparison is so interesting. Purdy wasn't drafted because everyone believed he had the biggest arm or the most spectacular physical tools. But put him into Kyle Shanahan's system, and suddenly his strengths became extremely valuable. Accuracy, decision-making, timing, movement. Those same traits can become extremely dangerous in McVay's offense. And Simpson just showed flashes of exactly that. He wasn't trying to play hero ball. He simply executed. And sometimes that's exactly what an NFL offense needs. But the quarterback wasn't the only thing that stood out. The Rams' offense itself may have exposed a problem that defenses are going to have a very difficult time solving. Remember when the Rams started using 3 tight ends and people thought, that's cute? Well, it's not cute anymore. It's becoming a major part of what they do. The Rams are extremely balanced. They can run. They can throw. They can force defenses into base personnel. And once they get those heavier defensive packages onto the field, McVay can attack them through the air. That's the genius of it. If you stay big, the Rams can create passing mismatches. If you go smaller, they can punish you on the ground. And against man coverage, the problem becomes even worse. The Rams can move those tight ends around, create crossing routes, and force defenders to cover through traffic. Suddenly, what looked like a strange personnel package becomes a matchup nightmare. And for a quarterback like Simpson, that is almost perfect. Because the offense is constantly trying to create easy throws before the quarterback even releases the ball. And that's exactly where Simpson's most important trait showed up. Not his arm strength, but his ability to hit the throws McVay's offense is designed to create. This is what people sometimes get wrong about quarterback evaluation.
Everybody loves the deep ball, but NFL offenses are built on the layups, the rollout, the play-action throw,
The receiver crossing the field, 10 to 15 yards downfield. The window is there.
the quarterback simply has to hit it. Simpson did. He was particularly impressive throwing on the move, especially rolling to his right.
And that's important because McVay's offense repeatedly creates those situations.
You don't need to throw a 60-yard bomb every possession.
You need to consistently hit the easy throws.
That's how drives survive. That's how completion percentages stay high. That's how quarterbacks stay ahead of the chains. And Simpson looked like he understood that.
He wasn't forcing the spectacular. He was taking what the offense gave him.
That may sound simple.
At the NFL level, it isn't. Of course, there is one major reason we shouldn't get carried away just yet, and that warning is important. Let's be honest.
It was preseason.
Defenses aren't always game planning the same way they would during the regular season.
Coaches are evaluating players, and offensive staffs can script their opening plays to put young quarterbacks in favorable situations.
So no, 21 of 25 doesn't automatically mean Ty Simpson is the next superstar.
There are still questions. Can he handle disguised coverages? Can he survive pressure? Can he consistently make difficult throws outside structure? Can he do this when defensive coordinators actually build a game plan specifically to attack him?
We don't know yet. But that's not the point.
The point is that Simpson passed the first test. And he didn't merely survive.
He looked poised.
He looked accurate. He looked comfortable.
That is why this performance matters. And now we're left with the question nobody expected to be asking this early. Maybe Ty Simpson isn't Brock Purdy.
Maybe this comparison disappears 6 months from now.
But what if it doesn't?
What if the Rams really did find a quarterback who fits Sean McVay's system almost perfectly?
A quarterback who can learn behind Matthew Stafford.
A quarterback who doesn't need to carry the entire offense immediately.
A quarterback who can develop without pressure.
And a quarterback who just went 21 of 25 with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions while looking completely comfortable. Suddenly, the number 13 pick doesn't look so outrageous.
It looks like the Rams were thinking ahead.
And that's what should scare the rest of the NFL.
Because the Rams don't need Simpson to be their superstar today. They already have Stafford. They just need Simpson to develop.
And if he does, Los Angeles may have solved its biggest future problem before that problem even existed.
One preseason game doesn't make a franchise quarterback.
But one preseason game can reveal something.
And what Ty Simpson revealed was enough to make the Rams' most controversial decision suddenly look very, very interesting. Because if McVay really found his next Brock Purdy,
the Rams may have just become even more dangerous than anyone expected. Thank you for watching Sport Current. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video to support the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss the latest NFL and WNBA news, breaking stories, game updates, trades, and the biggest moments in American sports.
Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you in the next video right here on Sport Current.